And with us in the studio is the political commentator and columnist Brian Taylor, lawyer and broadcaster Bene Briggs-McKinlay, and the businessman and columnist Donald MacLeod. Well, Brian, what a week.
Quite a week, incredible week. I think, John Swinney's had 16 years in government and 1 year out of government. I think the 16 years give him the experience of which he talked there. The 1 year could be the significant bit, because that perhaps gives him the detachment from being, face up against the window, perhaps to see where his party and his government have been going wrong. I thought it was going astray a bit. I think it was really significant that he stressed a couple of elements. He stressed a focus again on economic growth. Now, it's only a few years since Kate Forbes published a Scottish Government document talking about entrepreneurial drive to enhance Scotland's prosperity, basically. I think we're back to those days. The second one he said is, of course, climate action is critically important, but at the same time he was saying that it has to be done in a way that takes business and takes people with the drive. Now, I think that's going to be, those two areas are going to be both challenges when he's trying to strike a deal with the Greens, but I think he will try and strike one.
OK, Bene, you didn't want Humza to go, did you?
No.
Did you think he might have won the confidence of
Yeah,
no?
I think so. I think he would have won it. I think he could have stuck it out and maybe done some real politicking, but he did political harry-carry and fell on his sword. But I think he did it honourably. He's an honourable man. He did it with dignity. And he thought, listen, if somebody else can do a better job than I, let's do it. We're all proud when, he was the first Asian Prime Minister, first, Muslim Prime Minister. We're all really happy, but if that's not enough for the party to unify, maybe it was time for him to go. I'm happy he did it with dignity. I'm really proud of him.
Yeah, and I should have said it was a vote of no confidence in himself. You think he might have won, not in government.
Yes.
So you weren't sad to see him go, Donald?
It's sad. I'm frustrated at the lack of progress that's been made by the Scottish Government, whether it's Humza, whether it was Nicola, and whether it's going to be John Swinney. It was the end of an era when you're talking about Humza, but the mistakes are still getting made. The only continuity that seems, it's not a continuity candidate so much as a continuity of chaos that we're getting at the moment. There is no improvement in our living standards. There's no improvement in economic growth. There's no improvement in attainment gaps in education. It's time for an election.
OK, well, Bene, do you think John Swinney can unite the party? Do you think he can improve the SNP's fortunes? I'm
actually heaving a sigh of relief, because I think we're in good hands again. I'm not saying Humza's hands were in good, but I'm happy John is, because everybody knows you can trust him. He's safe, he has the experience, he makes people feel calm, and he can unify the party. We want SNP to be united, we want independence, we do, and I don't think things are as bad as Donald makes them out to be. I think we keep repeating the same things, things are not right, our social things are not. I think actually things have improved. We just don't bang our successes. We don't talk about them enough. OK,
Bene's certain that things will improve under John Swinney.
Well, I don't know how they will improve. They didn't improve the last time he was in power, and in fact, they didn't improve when he was the side swinger of Nicola, and they didn't improve, even when Humza was there. Nothing really improved. It's been static. Economic growth, it's flatlined. And you know what? The people are getting very fed up that this party, the SNP, are not delivering an independent, they're getting very fed up that they've failed to deliver, and the Greens are wagging the tail here.
Brian, do you think John Swinney will appeal to the voters? What will they make of him, do you think?
It's a three-stage process, isn't it? He's got to first of all win the party vote. Well, that looks like a scoosh, because I think he'll be the only nominee, but he's not just respected within the SNP, he's revered. He has a blend of being the cool, calm accountant type and the pragmatic focus, but he's also a very passionate nationalist, and that occasionally comes through, and frankly the SNP like that sort of thing, the S movement likes that sort of thing. Then he's got to win the vote in Parliament to become First Minister, and he's going to need at least the tolerance or possibly the active support. It's going to have to be the Greens, that the pro-union parties will never vote for him. And I think the Greens will certainly perhaps permit him into office, if you like, and then he's got to win the support of the people. To do that's where you're talking about refocusing the government upon popular priorities, losing perhaps the fringe elements, focusing upon the climate change, but focusing upon it in a way that appears to be working more in tandem with people, and above all, driving prosperity as well as wealth redistribution.
Donald, do you think the opposition parties might rue the day they forced Humza Yousaf out of power? Do you think John Swinney might actually be more of a threat?
No, I don't. I think John Swinney has got to deliver, and he's got to increase the prospect and prosperity of the nation. I don't see that happening under the current government. I don't think the skill set's there. I don't think they care too much about the people as a party. And I think that's where what the opposition parties are going to focus on. The people are getting very fed up of being left behind by green policies, etc.
Kate Forbes is not standing. What job will she get?
I think she'll be offered a senior position. I think she was offered, last year, rural affairs and declined, but then she was declined because she was pulling back, I think, at that stage. She'll want something, I'm sure, that is in the economic realm. So I wonder if they might prize apart finance and economy to some extent or reshape the remits in that regard and give us something there. She'll be looking, I'm sure, for something fairly senior. But her statement is one of regret as well, talking about the disappointment that some will feel that she's not felt able to stand. I'm sure she'll seek a chance to stand in the future, but she is accepting the assurances that Mr. Swinney has given her on the economy, on climate change, and above all on shifting the balance of the government back, frankly. John Swinney called it the centre-left. Most people would say it was the centre.
What will this mean for independence, do you think, Bene?
I think we're back in the game. I think it's back in the game. I think people were like, you don't think so?
Oh, well,
I think now that the party is going to be united, we're all, Kate is standing, the party line now is unity, unity. So once we're united, we can face the people can be reassured, and I think independence is back on the table. I really do.
I don't. 50% or thereabouts are saying they want independence in Scotland. The SNP's, still bumping along at 35. They've proved that they cannot govern the country, and so the people, if they're ever going to want to get independence in Scotland, they need about 70% of the nation to get that vote, and the government in charge need to be able to prove they're competent. They haven't.
Hamza Yousaf on Monday said that independence was frustratingly close, Brian.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's the case, because you have to look at the avenue by which it would be achieved, and it's achieved by obviously holding a referendum, but it's achieved in serious terms by enhancing the degree of support for it among the public. And the way they do it, the SNP strategy for more than a decade, for longer than that indeed, has been to govern, or to seek to govern moderately and consensually within the existing powers, while simultaneously saying, just think what more we could do if we had the full powers of independence. So it's been a gradualist route, and John Swinney, one of the architects of that policy, was stressing that again today in his leadership statement.
Yeah, you say that you think independence is game on again, but nothing really has changed since last week.
Optics are everything, image is everything, and with John Swinney at the helm, people are going to start thinking that way again. I really do. I think so.
I'll give you the last word on that.
The last word. I
might regret it. But
no, I think we've got the government now. John Swinney is going to get the coronation of John Swinney. But what is going to improve over the next 2 years? I don't see very much, and I definitely think there should be an election for the people to decide who leads the country.
And we will have to leave it, Bene. I'm so sorry to cut you off. We'll talk about it another time. Thank you all very much indeed.